Thanks a lot, Rod. Well, there's no underestimating the benefit of having adequate sun protection, more so in the midst of enjoying the summer. Now, here to tell us how to achieve the sun-kissed summer look while protecting our skin against the threats of too much sun, our dermatologist Ivan Singzon and Ana Vida, Executive Director of Prime Skincare Asia Derm Center. Guys, good morning.
Good morning,
docs. It's fast approaching. I'm supposed to ask for one of those nice beach vacations soon, but this is right in time for the summer, which is basically knocking on the door.
Right.
What do we do? How do we get that beautiful tan skin? Because I want Jennifer Lopez's glow.
You want Jennifer
Lopez's glow, yeah. And I don't have the genes, so how do I get it by the sun? Go ahead, doctor. I mean, we want to be out in the sun a lot of times, but I guess,
yes.
The negative side of that is really the too much sun.
Yes. Well, you have to protect yourself from the effects of the sun, and one of the ways you can do that is by wearing proper clothing. When you're out on the beach, you can wear a wide brim hat to protect your ears, also to protect your neck, sunglasses to protect the skin around your eyes, and long sleeves. What else you can do?
Long sleeves at the beach. How much sun should someone get in maybe tanning or trying to go after that perfect tan, or maybe just having fun under the sun? How much sun is kind of
allowed?
Yeah, is allowed before you get yourself into some danger zone?
Well, you don't want to get yourself sunburned. That would be bad, because then you would get blisters and itching, stinging pains. So just enough sun, but not to the point where you get burned.
What are the hours? I know that there are specific hours that you do avoid. What are the best times to kind of go out and enjoy the good weather?
That's a good question. The sun's intensity is highest between the hours of 10 to 3.
10 to 3.
That's a big block.
So a tip is, when you're out in the sun and you see your shadow, if it's shorter than you are, then the sun's rays are at its highest intensity.
Okay, and during those times, if you want to protect your skin, you should be using SPF. I'm guessing you should be using.
We recommend at least SPF 30.
Okay, and that's kind of all over the body.
Yes, the way you apply your sunblock is you have to apply it 30 minutes before you expose yourself to the sun, because that's how long it takes to absorb. Then while you're still exposed to the sun's rays, you have to apply every 2 hours liberally.
And that's not if you're in and out of the water. Well, I guess we have two situations going on. I mean, we have people who are going to be under the sun, not at the beach, maybe working, commuting, just a regular person. Maybe that person first. What are some things that they should look out for as far as sun exposure? And maybe is it possible for them to be to have harmful sun effects if you're not really out on the beach tanning and really asking for the sun?
Yes, regular sun exposure is really harmful, especially if you go out of the sun between the peak hours, which is 10 to 3 in the afternoon. So that's why you really need sun protection. There are regular products out in the market, like sunblocks or sun protections, which we can take or apply liberally in our.
But it's really important to do that.
Yes.
To kind of put it in context, say, when do you start to see, what kind of damaging effects do you see, and how much do you kind of pull in the aging process when you expose yourself to sun?
Well, you over the years of constant sun exposure, you'll have photo damage. You'll start to see wrinkles as you get older. They won't show while you're younger, but when you get older, that photo damage will come out. You'll also see melasma, or dark spots or splotches on your face.
Okay. Sometimes people go under the sun to even out their skin. I mean, I know I have a couple friends who may have uneven skin, and you kind of go there so you can get an even tan. But are you just making it worse, basically?
Yes, you're just exposing yourself to
more damage,
more sun.
What are we looking at, docs? That is an example.
That's an example of a patient who's been sunburned. So as you can see, the skin becomes really red, and then you get crusting or and the crusting is from blisters that had occurred. You really get burned. That's like almost like a 3rd-degree sunburn.
Wow. Okay. Now the effects of that after the redness goes down and after weeks of your skin healing itself, the after effects are also yet to be seen.
Yes, you'll see it later on in life. The darkening of the darkened areas, darker than the surrounding skin.
Are those what are I'm sorry to interrupt, doctor. What is that? What are we looking at now?
Oh, this we're looking at a person's hands who was taking a particular kind of medicine, because there's some medicines which react to the sun, like isotretinoin, or even if you take mefenamic acid, some cardio medications can do that. Antifungals, antibacterial, they'll react to the sun. So when you're taking medication, it's important for you to ask your physician if you can have some sun exposure.
This is oral medication or even
Even topical.
Wow. Okay.
That's why it's really important, if I may say, that when you consult your derma, make sure that they are board certified PDS members. PDS meaning they're members of the Philippine Dermatological Society of the Philippines, which is the only recognized society for dermatologists by the Philippine Medical Association.
Now, if I may, sometimes doing entertainment stories, people get themselves into certain situations where they have gotten work or they have gotten certain, whether it be skin or other kinds of work, but because the person who did it wasn't board certified or wasn't
really a
how
member.
many what are the different levels or classes of people that you could go to who might be able to advise you on skincare or on certain things but aren't necessarily board certified?
Well, actually, when we say it's a PDS member or board certified licensed dermatologist, these doctors are the ones who underwent it's 4 years training, 3 years training for specifically for dermatology cases. But unlike other doctors some doctors actually practice dermatology, but they didn't really undergo the basic training for dermatology. But of course, they're still doctors.
They're still doctors,
but they're not really specialized in
I see.
dermatology.
Okay.
But of course, the basic diseases or cases, of course, they can still treat you. But of course, it's better that if for the skin problems or hair problems, it's still better that you consult somebody who's really trained to do that.
Specialized in
Yes.
that. All right, so
Yes.
there is a distinction to be
Yes.
made. Well, I mean, going back to the sun now, I'm just going to share an experience. I think I had about a weekend off a while back, and I really wanted a nice glow to come back. But may pagyayabang naman doon. And
Galing
so,
sa beach.
yes, and so I did know that the perfect time to go out would be between 10 and 3. I think I was out from like 11 till 5, and it's one of those days where you're just out in the sun all day. You try and get everything, all the sun that you can, because you're going to leave the next day or you're going to leave the day after, and so you try to soak that all up. I know that's wrong, but I did it. Now, but for what would be, I guess, the most strategic or healthiest way to kind of have a little bit of the best of both worlds? I mean, I did it kind of an extremist way. I think for 3 weeks afterwards, like 10 layers of my skin came off, and I was genuinely concerned that I had given myself skin
A
cancer.
certain degree of burning.
I saw moles that were getting bigger. I was like,
no.
did I just give myself skin cancer? I mean, shed some light on this for us who are hard-headed and stubborn.
Well, I don't think you should just do it all one time, big time. You should just do it gradually. Maybe just stay in the sun for maybe around 1 hour to 2 hours at the peak hours at like 10 to 3, if you can tolerate it. Because some people burn after 15 minutes, so others are 1 hour. So it just depends from person to person.
And if you do burn right away, what are some remedies that maybe you can
You can just apply cold compresses if you get some blisters. If it becomes itchy, you can just take some oral antihistamines, and you can moisturize to replace the water loss
Because
in
when
your
you
skin.
get sunburned, you also get dehydrated, actually.
Okay, well, I mean, you have 5 tips, doctors, that you would like to to share or to impart with our viewers? Some of these I definitely don't do whenever I'm out. But please school me and school our viewers. What are literally when it comes to the sun and taking the most care that you can? What are some tips that they should really do?
Well, the first one is, of course, you have to wear sunscreen, at least then SPF 30.
Okay.
Okay, that will provide you with enough protection.
What about if you go SPF 50, SPF 70? Does that even really help?
It'll offer you more protection, but the SPF, just as long as you apply it every 2 hours, if you're using a lower SPF, is still adequate. When you go to a higher SPF, you might react, because they're going to use some chemicals in that.
The higher the SPF, the manufacturers actually, what's this?
Put in a chemical.
Put in some more chemicals into it.
I see. Okay.
So that's where sometimes the people get reactions from those chemicals.
I see. Okay, so 30 is a good base.
Yes.
And I guess afterwards, be very wary if you're able to use a higher SPF. Okay, so that's one. So I did do, and then some of the other tips.
Of course, you can moisturize daily to replace your water loss. Or when you're at the beach, you get all that salt when you're out swimming in the ocean, or when you're swimming in the pool, you get some chlorine, and that can dry out your skin also. So it's best just to wash it off and then apply a moisturizer.
And I'm seeing number 3 says bring on the lip balm.
Yes.
I mean, the lips do get very chapped. Is that an indicator of you being really dehydrated?
Dehydration.
Yes.
Okay. Dehydrated by the sun or by just your water?
Both
in general.
Yeah, it can be both.
Okay. So once you start to see cracked lips, I mean, you really need to bring on the water.
You really, aside from that, and the lip balm, because
lip
it's really tiba. If you have experienced it, talagang sobrang mahapde. When it's really drying out, the more it dries out.
And then you kind of cut your lips sometimes because it is dry. Anything specific they need to look for in lip balm?
That it has an SPF, because some of the lip balms have SPF.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, switch to summer makeup. I don't know if it should be. I should
No,
summer makeup.
No, meaning summer makeup, because there are a lot of makeups coming out with SPF already, but before the regular makeups doesn't really contain SPF. But now we have a lot of makeups coming out with SPF. If the women out there will notice, especially the mineral makeups, it's more since mineral makeup doesn't really contain chemicals, so it's much better for us to use it. And then if it has SPF, the better.
Okay, great. And some other tips. Do sun protective clothing. I mean, maybe we can practice this when we're here. Sun protective clothing. I think you mentioned earlier, Doc Ivan, about the long sleeves. If you're, if there's kind of a commute, you're going to be out for a while.
Yes, there's some. I don't know if it's available in the Philippines, but like in Australia, where they have like a high rate of cancer, they have some clothing wear that has chemical impregnation, which will protect you from the sun.
Kind of the cloth
I think
that
we
they
saw
use,
that.
yes. But we're not sure
there
if
are
it's
some there are some places I think here that have that actually have sun protection on the clothing or
the material itself.
Yes.
Actually, sun has
I
sun
remember
protection.
Pamela Branda telling me about that. I was like, what? Sunscreen enough? Okay, this is interesting. Well, you exfoliate regularly. That's a good tip. Go for the faux tan. We can. Well, I haven't tried, but we can try that. I know some beauty pageant girls do that all the time. Now, this is interesting. Practice smart shaving. What is that?
Well, since you're, you're going to the beach and you want to have like nice clean legs, and you're going to wear your bikini, or you have to shave under your arms or shave your legs more frequently, or you're going to be wearing shorts and summer wear. So you're going to be shaving more frequently, so you have to use a clean razor.
Okay.
And then change your razor frequently.
Okay.
And that will
It
prevent
avoids the nicks or the cuts that it's not really intended for.
Oh, okay.
and ingrown hairs also.
I see. Okay. Well, because I was trying to think how with that and sun protection, but I guess that does make sense. I mean, I cut myself